Today's date is 25 February 2022. I'm at Fort Myer interviewing Captain Nathan Goulette.
That's correct.
My name is Dennis Gill with the Americans in Wartime Experience. So if you can just give us, state your name, branch of service, rank.
I am Nathan Goulette. I'm a captain in the U.S. Army. I'm an infantry officer.
Okay. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? That kind of thing.
So I come from a military family. I was born in Monterey, California,
Okay.
at Fort Ord. We moved around quite a bit, but I spent the vast majority of my developmental years in Stafford, Virginia.
Okay.
It's about 45 minutes south of D.C. on 95.
Where you call home?
That's where I call home. That's right.
Perfect.
I don't live there currently, but my
Okay.
parents are
Parents
still
still
there,
there.
and try to visit them, pretty much every weekend.
Okay. Okay. What kind of schooling do you have? What high school, college, that kind of thing?
I went to high school down in Stafford, Virginia at Mountain View High School, and I went to Virginia Tech for my undergraduate.
Okay.
Studied mathematics.
Mathematics.
Yeah. Good time.
Okay. Good. What do you do in your spare time? Hobbies, things like that.
Hobbies, really enjoy golf. As
As much as
Sort-
you can enjoy golf.
Say that
I
again?
said as much as you can enjoy golf.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes
It can be
it's-
infuriating.
Yes.
Exactly. Golf, I enjoy playing video games, reading, working out.
Okay. You belong to any other youth groups, Boy Scouts, ROTC, things like that?
I was a Boy Scout. I didn't do JROTC, but I did do Boy Scouts. Attained the rank of Eagle.
Okay.
It was a really fun time.
Yeah. What troop were you with?
Troop 121. It was based out of Quantico, Virginia.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. How long have you been in the United States Army?
I've been in the Army it'll be 5 years coming up in May. I'll hit my 5-year mark. Most of it has been split between Fort Myer here and at Fort Campbell.
Okay. Any deployments anywhere?
No deployments. Well, we called it a deployment. We went down to the southwest border to help secure the border with Mexico
Okay.
for it's about a 3-month deployment for me.
Okay. All right. And you're a Ranger?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Why did you decide to do that?
So as an infantry officer, especially going to a light infantry unit, it's just the expectation for you to either have it when you show up, which I did not, or to go back to the school and get your Ranger tab. I knew a lot of guys that didn't end up getting it and ended up having very successful careers, but it was one thing that I really wanted to set my mind to and prepare for and achieve, and I'm grateful that I was able to get that. It's the school it's some luck, but it's a lot of hard work and preparation beforehand.
Okay. What is your position with the Old Guard?
My position right now, I am the executive officer of the headquarters company for 4th Battalion.
And how long have you been down here?
In this position, I've held this position for about 9 months now.
Okay.
Last April, May is when I took over this position.
Okay. Is this something you applied for? Is it something they just told you this is what you're going to do, or how did you come to be here?
So to come to the Old Guard, you generally have to apply. I applied,
Okay.
submitted an application to come to the Old Guard.
Right.
There are some people that just sort of get told to come to the Old Guard, but it's something I volunteered for.
Right.
But to get into this position specifically, I was just chosen to be in this position. I was formerly in Commander-in-Chief's Guard in Alpha Company.
Okay.
I spent a brief stint as the S4, the logistics officer for the battalion, but they needed a HHCXO, so they selected me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why did you want to come here? What attracted you to it?
There are a lot of reasons. One was I was not having a great time on the deployment, quote unquote, to the southwest border. It just wasn't a very good time. It was a really strange mission, so I applied to come to the Old Guard just to sort of get out of that. Second reason, it's a very honored unit, a ton of history, and a really cool mission. And the third reason is because it's close to home. I always loved visiting DC when I was growing up, and that played a big part in my choice to come here.
So you're local. Did you know much about the Old Guard and what they did before?
Not really at all. So my dad actually, he could have done his, my mom and my dad, they were both career Army. They could have done their retirement ceremonies here.
Okay.
So I never got to see one of those. But I did see the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I visited Arlington National Cemetery, both with my parents and with a high school field trip.
We're here to specifically talk about the flower ceremony that occurred
Sure.
last year. What can you tell me about that? What was your role during all of that?
So my role during the flower ceremony, I was sort of traffic control. I policed the line that was leading up to the plaza. So basically control the flow into and out of the plaza for the ceremony.
Is there any special training or arrangements or preparations that you had to make for this? I mean, this is different than anything that had been done before.
That's right. And because it was different from anything that we had done before, we didn't really know how to rehearse for it or prepare for it. But we did have some intensive discussions as to how many people we want on the plaza at the same time, whether or not people could be like taking selfies or pictures while they're on the plaza. So we did talk about that, and we laid some ground rules, but we didn't really know what it was going to look like until game day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Given that, did you feel like you prepared? And looking back on it, were you prepared? Or were there things that popped up that like, wow, if we ever do this again, we need to address that?
Fortunately, the attendees to the flower ceremony, the people that were laying the flowers, were very well behaved, and they had such respect for where they were and what they were doing. There were no unruly citizens, on the plaza. So our job was really easy. It was basically just we signaled for when it was appropriate for them to step on the plaza and place their flower, and they did that. They took a second at the tomb, and then they moved on for the most part. Mm-hmm.
Is that different than a normal day as far as the demeanor of the public? Was there anything different about it? Are people normally unruly?
No,
not generally,
not at
but
all.
I mean, every so often you've got that person that talking when they shouldn't be.
Exactly. Every so often you have somebody that the sentinel that's guarding the tomb has to yell at.
Right. That didn't happen.
No. We did have some people, staying in front of the tomb for too long, and we had to tell them that it was time to move on, to let the people behind them move up.
Right. So the public was, for the most part, respectful.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
During your time, can you tell us what you observed as far as groups of people that came?
Mm-hmm.
Were people there with their families, individuals, military?
Sure.
Things like that?
So I'd say it was about a 50-50 split between military and military in military clothes, military uniform, and civilians.
Okay.
And even then, I'm guessing that a lot of the civilians were veterans or come from military families.
Right.
But there were quite a few veterans organizations, and I'm guessing a lot of individuals that work at the Pentagon or Fort McNair, Fort Belvoir,
Right.
Meade, that came out.
What do you think what do you think the statement was that people were trying to make? What do you think motivated people to go out there and place that flower at the tomb?
So I think part of it was sort of the novelty about being able to step on the plaza and do something that no civilian would ever be able to do.
Right.
But really it was just the respect that the American people and these veterans and these civilians have for the unknown soldiers that fought and died for this country. It was really incredible to see. Mm-hmm.
Did you witness the Crow Nation Honor Guard?
So I was not able to see them do their ceremony in the amphitheater, but I did see them all come through. They were the first ones through the gate to come and lay flowers on the tomb.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us what that meant? What emotions were there? What significance is there of them being there? That kind of thing.
I think it's pretty incredible. I mean, Chief Plentycoo, his address is in the tomb display room, so there's a huge history with the Crow Nation and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and for them to be able to come and be the first ones to place the flowers on the tomb, I think that was pretty incredible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Did what you observe in any way affect how you conducted yourself? Or
No.
was it just another day?
For me,
Yeah.
In my position, I do have a lot of interaction with the tomb, so it definitely wasn't, just another day on the job, but it was not, a far cry from what I do normally when I visit the tomb.
Yeah.
Just always keep a respectful, solemn demeanor, and make sure others are doing the same.
Yeah. You guys are pretty committed already. Did this add to that? The outpouring of support and what you saw as far as emotions and the amount of people that were there and how important it was to them to be able to do that? Does that affect your commitment in any way, or?
Seeing how many people showed up just to be able to place a flower on the tomb, I didn't expect anywhere near that number of people to come out, and seeing how many people came out and were so grateful for the opportunity really put it into perspective, even more so for me, about how special the mission of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is.
Were you able to see the flowers as they were arranged?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Both the, at sunset
Right.
on the 10th and in the morning of the 11th when the president came out to place a wreath at the tomb.
What do you think about all that?
That is one of the coolest sights I've ever seen. I got to tell you, see the tomb completely surrounded by, I don't know how many thousands of flowers. I don't know if I'll ever see anything like it again. It was incredible.
What were your overall thoughts of the ceremony?
I thought it was a fantastic ceremony, and I think it was just so special for people to be able to come out and step onto the plaza. I had never done it until that day.
Right.
Even though I do work fairly closely with the tomb,
Right.
still, you never get that opportunity unless you're down assigned to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Right.
So.
Is this so this is a rarity. I mean, this has never happened before.
Never.
Is this something that you think should happen again? Is it a yearly thing, or maybe another 100 years before we do it again?
I think 100 years is going to be too far from now.
Right.
I don't know. It could be maybe every decade, every 5 years to make sure that it stays so that it stays special.
Right.
I think making
so
it
not an annual thing, certainly.
it's not up to me,
Right.
but I'd say every 5-10 years do something like this again, because going 100 years without doing something like this is a little too long, I think.
Right.
Just because there are so many people that would not be able to experience that.
Yeah. I don't know what, you might not even know what your career
Mhm.
lies in front of you, but looking back, looking forward, looking back, is this going to be one of the highlights, do you think, no matter what you end up doing in your career? You look back on this moment,
This-
see the highlight, or one of the highlights.
The centennial was definitely the most memorable experience I've had, at least while I was assigned to the Old Guard, for sure. And it's definitely within the top 3 experiences that I had while I've been in the Army. And it's something that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. Absolutely.
So it'll hold, it'll
Yes.
be in your top 3 probably in 20 years from now.
Absolutely.
One of the reasons that we do this, obviously, is to
Mhm.
capture your experiences.
Sure.
We want to pass those on to people that couldn't be there. Somebody that might not even be born right now might watch this in 50 or 100 years. What message would you like to send somebody about your service, about this ceremony, about the tomb guards?
Mm-hmm. Just, I want to convey the amount of respect that I have for the tomb guards, the people that serve down at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It is a very difficult, very honorable assignment. And experiences like this are what made me want to come to the Old Guard and come to the Army. And I think that's one of the reasons that service in the Army is so special, is being able to work with people like the Tomb Guards and the other people at the Old Guard. That is definitely the highlight of being able to service the people that you serve with.
There are people that look at the military and think that the mission is, to destroy property and
Mm-hmm.
kill people. That's the mission. And that maybe this mission is a waste of money. But this is an integral part of our country and the mission of the military. Everything that happens out here.
Absolutely.
Means just as much as anything else.
So yeah, back at Fort Campbell, when you're in an infantry battalion in a force comm unit, that is the mission. It's to be lethal and to kill things
Right.
and blow up stuff. But here, our message is to outreach and give the American people a face-to-face interaction with active duty real life soldiers, because the people that are at Fort Campbell and Fort Hood, they only interact with their families and the people that live in those towns. The vast majority of American people don't really have any interaction with active duty soldiers. So we want to put forward the best face for the Army and display the precision and immense capabilities of our soldiers and men and women in uniform.
Is there anything else that you want to document that we haven't talked about? Any questions I failed to ask that you would add to this?
I can't really think of anything, but I just want to reiterate what a cool experience that was to see the public come through and experience the tomb up close and personal.
Well, on behalf of the Americans in Wartime Experience, I thank you for your service, and I thank you for sitting down and telling us your story
Yeah.
and sharing with you.
Not at all.
Experiences. We
I don't
appreciate it.
know. Happy to.